Hello there, this is Cheryl Lentz, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, talking to you on Tuesday at 2. So I had a couple of things that I showed you on Friday, and so I have a card to show you, I have a card to stamp with you. I didn't get my hair combed. I cut my own bangs this morning. So anyhow, so I will get started showing you that. Hi, Cindy. Using some of the products that I showed you. I got one card done with using the diorama dies, not how they're intended to use. So I'm going to show you that card and make that card today. And then on Friday, I'm working on one with the koi, with the seascape stamp set. So I didn't get that finished this morning, but I will by Friday. So I'm going to turn the camera around because we'll get started because I have a lot of little extra things to do and play with today. So it'll be a lot of fun. So here we go. Thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, share my video, spread the word. Let's have fun. Let's stamp. Here we go. I'm going to turn that around. Okay, going for a little ride here. I had my camera on here. The grip is different now. and it went flying off and put a hole in my paper. So I'm just like, oh my goodness sakes. Hi, Patty. So welcome, ladies. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so on Friday I talked about some hidden gems and things that whoopsie, I made there's a hole there. One of the things I didn't show, but I have here, that a stamp set that I think is really fun, Celebrate with Flowers. I love vertical designs. So I took my pearlized paper and I made this card. So I wanted to show you this card. So this is the pearlized paper. So you see that shimmer, shimmer, so pretty. Hello, Judy. And so on this particular card, I took my aqua painter. It's not an aqua painter, it's whatever they call it now, but same difference, right? So I took this and I put it on here, wet it down just a little bit, and then took Calypso Coral and Pear Pizzazz, and I just kind of laid down that soft background. Then it takes a while to dry. So I let it dry, and I just wanted it really soft like that, very subtle. Then I decided I love this vertical thing. So I cut my happy birthday out. I took a little pencil mark and put a pencil mark on the base, on this base layer. So I knew where my center was. And then I stamped these leaves. Well, then I decided it needed more than that. So then I stamped the leaves on Pear Pizzazz and cut them out. Yes, they're fussy cut out, but there's only 3. They're not bad. And then the flowers are stamped on. So, and it just kind of gives a really soft look. I thought it was sort of fun. I did add some gems here. They're, let's see here, which ones did I use? The Elegant Faceted gems, because they have sort of a pinky corally overtone. So that's what I used here. And then I popped up my leaves, popped up my verse, and then here's the inside. So kind of a fun, I used Calypso Coral on these flowers, and the dragonfly and the little stamen on the flowers is done with Cajun Craze. So 3 colors, but pretty simple card, but kind of fun. So that pearlized stuff was kind of fun. Now I will say this, it does not absorb, right? So you have to either wait for it to dry or heat it up. I'm a cooker. I don't cook, but I like to cook with my heat tool. So I did that, but I did touch this corner a little bit. So I did the cheater's way out, and I took a blender pen and I just kind of took away where it was smeared. So let it dry good, because it does not absorb into it. So just so you're aware of that when you're working with it, right? So that's the first card I wanted to show you. I am working with a card. This is how much I have done right here. That's it. With this one, the Seascape card. And so I'm going to use the diorama dies with that one. But this is the pearlized. So I use the pearlized paper for this koi. You cut it out well, then it has nothing behind it, right? So actually when you die cut this, I think I threw the paper away. When you die cut this, here it is. Here it is. It doesn't cut all the way through. So you have it's attached here at the base and over here. Everything else cuts out. But what I did is I cut it out. I cut the little pieces off there. And then I glued it onto pumpkin pie. And then I just cut it out around there. I fussy cut it around that. So kind of fun. So I'm excited to get something done with that. And I will show you that on Friday. Okay. So like a continued. So here is the card that I'm going to show. I'm going to do today. I love this card. So here it is. Very sweet. So I used the lattice this paper lattice, right? You get, I think, 10 of them for $6. And I used the soft pastels to do the background. So it's very subtle and very soft. So I used the hand-penned flowers. I fussy cut those because I wanted to continue with that really soft, sweet look. And our little bear is cut out with the diorama dies. This first one, okay? But the second one was way bigger and it would have covered up a lot of this. So I'll show you what I did. I created my own layers here with this die, but I wanted it nice and soft and kind of sweet. And there's the inside. So it says, I've got your back. No matter what, I'm here for you. So this is like a basic, well, we were talking to Terry. So this is like a basic size, right? When I do my cards here, this front piece here that I cut, that's like my, what I'm going to put something on, right, is 5 by 3 3/4. I layer everything, always. So my layering, if you want this 1/4 inch, layer, 1/8 inch on either side, right, is 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 by 4. And I'll tell you the truth, when I first started, up in my corner here, I would have all the layers. So I would have like a half a card, right? So this is a half a card cardstock. So this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. All right, basic size. The inside too. So this inside piece is 5 by 3 3/4. The layering is 5 1/4 by 4. Now, on occasion, I want to do a card like this. So when I do a card that opens this way, then I cut this 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. But the inside layers, the layering is all done the same. I am so kind of weird about that. I have this, and I've showed this before. This is called an OmniGrid. I cannot make a card if my OmniGrid ruler is lost. If it gets misplaced or it's under something, which happens, y'all who have been here know that happens. I'm totally lost. I cannot create a card if I don't have my OmniGrid. I started using these when I was quilting. And when I'm designing a card, I'll take this and I'll be like, okay, well, I want the layer to go this far, and I will lay my grid over the top of my paper, and that's how I start designing, sizing, and all that kind of good stuff. So just one of the tools that I use on a daily basis. So here's our little cute guy. This stamp set, super cute, is called Count on Me. And I love all the little creatures. So lots of fun. So I decided this is the first card I've made with it. And let's bring out my little pieces are all cut out and ready to go here. So here we go. I even have my little bow made because then I don't have to do that on camera and have you guys watch. I cut out my words. So I've got your back. One of my favorite sets of dies, and we've talked about this many times, is the Tasteful Label dies. This is such a fun, even if you don't have the stamp set, Coordinates with Tasteful Touches is the stamp set. There are 10 dies in here that are fabulous. So it's my go-to set for cutting out labels. So I already went ahead and cut out my little label, so you didn't have to watch that. Here are I'm going to stamp my bear on this piece. I'm going to make my own layers with these two pieces. Ta-da. And then I have here's my lattice. So this is pretty heavy. And to put it on here, I'll show you later when I do it, I just put one little tiny touch of glue on all of the solid little squares in here. That's it. That's the whole thing holding that on. So I took my piece of pearlized paper. Oops, that's gonna drive me crazy, that tear in there. I took my piece of pearlized paper, and it's pearlized on both sides. So there's no right or wrong, right? Both sides are the same. And I took my soft pastels assortment. That's how I built the background. That's very subtle. I'm not sure how much it even shows up. You can see it a little bit. It's very, very, very subtle. But so fun. So I took my little assortment. This is the first time I used it. I took my little aqua painter here. I need to get a paper towel over here. I had bagels this morning, so I have some left over. I don't have much water here, so I hope I get it right. So I always squeeze it, and I kind of paint my hand so I know it's coming out. And what I did is I just took this and painted over my pearlized paper. So it's not putting a lot on, it's just a little bit. And then I kind of just went down the row. So I just took my little paintbrush here, and I painted directly onto my pastel. I didn't even take it out. And I just went over it, back and forth, back and forth. And add as much color as you want. This is super light. And also, this is kind of a beigey almond color anyhow. And here it goes to the next darker yellow. I'm gonna paint this on. This one's a little bit brighter. You can see that a little bit more. So all I'm doing is picking up some of the pastel chalk and going over it, just painting it over. In between, I'm just dabbing it off. And then I did this darker orangey calypso coral kind of color, I guess. And that was like, woo, that's a lot more. So the more you go over it, I didn't paint all the way to the edges. I mean, I went over it, but I didn't make sure I left it streaky is what I'm saying. So I did just like that. Squeeze out in between. And then I went over here and used this Granny Apple Green on the bottom, just for fun. So I just wanted to layer up, and you could do it in different patterns. I just went straight across. And it's bowing because there's moisture on there, right? There we go. And then you can go over. I have a little cat hair on there. Shocking. There we go. Okay. So you can let it go. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm squeezing it where it says squeeze it here. I'm going to add a little bit more on the very top. Now I am setting my lattice work over the top of this. So, you know, you don't see it a whole lot, but you see it enough that you get some nice color. And that's why I didn't want to use all the different sizes on the diorama dies. When I do this flat one here, see that? I kind of squeeze it together. When I put the cap on, I want to put it on like that carefully so I don't get any of the brush on the outside of the cap. So there we go. So that's my little pastel background. So I'm going to set that aside. It's not super wet, you know, but it's really soft. And I think with the pastel being the pearlized, it's just really kind of soft and lovely. So we're going to set that aside while we work on our little bear. So now I have my bear here. Whoopsie daisy. There we go. Here's my cute little bear. And then I use Memento ink. Usually with usually with pencils, because I use the watercolor pencils, I would use StazOn, but I use this and it worked fine. So I'm just stamping my bear here. Ta-da. Let that dry just a minute here. There we go, and I already have the words. I'm going to stamp the inside while I have my ink out. And then I need to cut one piece of the designer paper that I put inside, because I put one little thin strip of designer paper on the inside so that it matched. And I forgot to cut that so I'm just going to cut a little strip here. We'll do it right here. I'm just going to cut a 1/2 inch. Ooh, that's wider. I should have used a 1/4 inch. Okay, here we go. Just one. I must have gone 3/4. There we go. So when I put the strip in here, I didn't want to have to stamp again because it's kind of fussy and a little bit labor intensive. So I just wanted to put the strip on here. And I used vanilla inside. My paper background is white. That's okay. It doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. I use the vanilla because I think the vanilla goes better with the pearlized paper. So that's why I did that. And I'm sticking to it. So here's this. So before I glue it down, I'm going to stamp it, try to get it straight. If I don't get it straight, I can turn it around. Ta-da. Good, good. That works for me. Okay. So that's, look, if I glue that down and put it on the inside, we're 50% done. Not really, because there's more on the front, but that's okay. I had so much fun making this. I was like, Julie was here. I was like, oh, this is so fun. I really love this card. I think that the little bear is so sweet, and all the little characters on this particular set are kind of sweet. For a long time, I really didn't do too much cutesy kind of, and that's what I call this one, kind of a cutesy set. But it's adorable, and if it makes somebody smile, I'm all about that. That's a good thing. So I have it cut just a hair longer, because if it's short, it looks terrible. You can always trim, right? So I'm going to put this in here. A little bit of adhesive, yada yada. Put this down. Okay. But yeah, I like the contrast of having the white background and the vanilla. I think that looks kind of neat. So there we go. Let's glue this in. The base of my card is crumb cake. So crumb cake, I love red with crumb cake. It's like kind of a go-to color, and I decided on the crumb cake because of using the lattice, the paper lattice, because I thought that's kind of a crumb cake color. And my little bear, that's why I decided on the bear. Oops, what am I doing? Did you see what I did? Huh. Okay, we're going to turn it around. I just glued the inside of the card on the outside. But we can fix that. Look, ta-da. I did it on purpose. Okay, there we go. It's all good again. Okay, let's color on our little bear. So I used my watercolor pencils, assortment number 1. I had one missing, but it has been found. So I always mark that on so I'm not looking for something that I can't find. So I used my watercolor pencils and my blender pen. So I'm just making sure the ends are nice and it's still wet. That'll help blend. So on this little bear, I took my early espresso pencil, and what I did was I just did little circles around the outside, just like this. So I'm not going to fill him in all completely. I'm just going to do these little circles, and when I use my blender pen, that's going to fill that in. It'll look kind of cool. So he'll have some highlights is what I'm saying. If you don't fill it in all the way, right, you're going to have some highlights in there. And I just kind of, just like that. So I did his little ears here. I did really light on his muzzle. There we go. Just like that. So I have all these little baby circles. And then I take my blender pen And I start doing little circles with that too. So you can see how I always think that it feels like it's melting the ink, the pencil marks. So I'm just kind of going up, going around where I have my little circles, and then I'm filling in the center as I go, as I want. And you can always add more. Harder to take it away, right, than to add. So I have my little bear here, and I'm just drawing my circles in. So there's a little bit light on his back. That must be where the light is shining on our little buddy. There we go. And the nose is just very light. There we go. Like that. Now, there are some nice highlighted areas for us. So I did go back over those where they have this little spots here for us. And then also I add like where I know there's a crease and a shadow, right on the top of his arm, over here by his leg, there like that. And then I'll go over those and just soften that just a little bit, but I'll leave those kind of highlighted areas in there. So it gives you a little shadow effect. There we go, just like that. After I'm done with that color, I just roll it. Okay, put that on. And then the hearts, of course, I did with red. So again, I'm just doing little circles. I filled it in a little bit more because I wanted it a little darker. But when you go over with your blender pen, it just kind of softens that look and takes away those lines. And then I roll it to the side to get rid of that. Okay. So my next thing is, so I did use the diorama dies. That's these. And they're so cool. What I decided was, you know, what shape do you put it in? An oval, a circle, you know, whatever, a punch. We don't have a punch that big. But anyhow, I decided I didn't want to cover up too much of the lattice work. And I thought these are fun for just outlining my bear. It doesn't have to be a circle or a square or anything else. You can give that kind of fluid lines to it. And I thought that was fun. See how this is drawing now? It's going the other way, concave. So that was I thought this is kind of fun. So this isn't really how they're intended, but this is how I'm using them because I just think it's fun. So I'll get my little mini machine out here, put this down, and it fits pretty snugly around him, but I wanted my background to show and I wanted the lattice to show. So that's why I went with this kind of fun way to use this die. But then the next die up, you know, the dies are all kind of, they're not exactly the same, right? These kind of match the same, but the insides kind of, the inner layering are a little bit different shape, and it would give me too much of a border. And so I didn't want that because I didn't want to, again, I didn't want to cover anything up. So after I cut him out, I took him and glued him on. Oh boy, cat hair, no charge. I glued him right onto a piece of cardstock, and I kind of made, you know, kind of close into the corner here so I didn't have to cut as much. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut. Yep. Yes, I'm going to fussy cut the layers on here so that I don't have as much work to do and I don't cover up a lot. So I took my handy dandy paper snips and I started at the bottom and I just decided how much I was going to do and fussy cut this layer here. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it's okay. It's just, I cut off the bulk here. It's just for me. I just thought it was kind of fun, and it was fun to have these kind of fluid lines. So as I'm turning the paper. You could draw out and have it like exact. I'm not that fussy. So I'm just kind of guesstimating and giving it a little turn here. Ta-da! There we go. First layer all set. Looks okay. And then he needed more because putting this on that lattice just, you know, kind of, it got lost. So I decided I have a red heart in here. I'm going to put it on the red layer. That's where my brain went. So you're just going to glue it on again, kind of close to the edges so you don't have to cut quite as much. Give it a little press. And again, just cut another layer as wide or as thick as you, thin or as you want. You can just cut it. Ta-da! This would be something, I mean, it would be easy to do, right? Just sitting while you're watching TV or just relaxing, listening to some good music, book on tape. Yeah. It's just like, oh, okay, I can do this. And then you get this fun, fluid, cool shape. So it's a little bit out of the box. No squares, no circles, no rectangles. Just a cool shape, right? Okay, so there's my pieces. Now, what I did was I glued on my little lattice work here. So I took this and I just put a little dot, tiny little dot of adhesive, my famous, wonderful, lovely green glue. One dot in each of these little spots, the solid square that's in here. It's pretty sturdy construction, so you don't need glue everywhere. And this almost feels powdery. It's kind of cool. So this piece I know is going to be a pretty tight from edge to edge, and it's going to have a little bit of a border on, that's okay. So I'm just kind of laying out, I know that's going to have about a 1/4 inch border, laying that out, moving it over till it looks kind of even, and then just giving it a little press down. So you can still see all my pretty color underneath there, and my cute little bear. And then we're going to put this on a piece of red cardstock. So remember this layer. So what's the layer of the layering? So the front, the part you're going to color on and make put designs on is 5 by 3 3/4, and this layer is 5 1/4 by 4. So pretty standard for our cards here. There we go. So as I was doing this, I was like, oh, he's so cute. But just when I put him like here, I was like, well, that's kind of plain. And then this was going to go down here. And yes, I was going to bump those up, but that's kind of plain. And I have all these soft, pretty colors. So I took my hand-penned designer paper and I fussy cut some flowers. So, and it doesn't have to be like, even if it's on this edge, you could cut those out, and then I just kind of put it underneath there. So what I did is I took my dimensionals, because I never know exactly where I want to put them, right? So I took my dimensionals and I put them in further. I didn't put them right on the edge because I want to be able to sneak my flowers in there. That one's done. I need another one. Here. I wanted to sneak my flowers in. So there we go. That's going to hold that. Oops. And I have enough on them because it's on the, you're gluing it right down to the lattice work and then the pearlized underneath. And I'm going to put my cute little bear here about right here. I'm going to give this one a little bit of room. Ta-da. Okay. And then I also use the many dimensionals for my words. And again, I wanted to go right down the center, and I used the mini ones because the larger ones would fit on here, but I want to tuck some flowers in here too. So it gives me room to kind of do whatever I want to do. There. Okay, so I have my background on, I have my bear on, I have my verse on. I've got the inside done, 50% done. So I'm just going to put this guy like right here. It's kind of nice with the lattice. You can make sure that you're straight, right? There. Ta-da. It should be that way a little bit, but that's okay. All right, and now I'm just going to cut some flowers out because I can cut these out of here. Again, I'm doing a little fussy cutting. Not so bad, folks. These are really soft and kind of easy to cut out, right? Follow them along the black line. And I just wanted something super soft to go along with my background that I have on here. This one is cut in the middle. I mean, it's cut on an edge, right? But that's okay because I can tuck that edge in like that. So you're not wasting anything. I'm not cutting a hole right in the middle of the paper. I'm kind of just playing with what I have on the edges and then figuring out where I can put it. Here, I'm going to cut this one a little bit smaller here. So I'm going to just cut this out and then there we go. Because this one I'll put on the other side. And you don't have to cut every little design. You can cut some of it out because I want as much of the lattice showing. I just want to have some flowers here to kind of soften the edge and make it look like my little bears in the woods, enjoying the flowers. And we had yesterday I was doing the dishes. Yuck. That means I cooked. But we had, and this one I'm going to put like down here on this side. We had hummingbirds at my flowers. I was so excited to have hummingbirds by my flowers in the front of the house. Tammy and Travis gave us some great big huge flowers that they brought from up north, hanging baskets, and they were so pretty. And apparently the hummingbirds feel the same way. There we go. So you can do as many or as few as you want. I kind of tried to balance it, right? So I have one on either side, one up a little bit further up and one a little bit further down. And again, here I'm cutting on the side, so from the edges. And I'm going to put this one right over here. Ta-da. Like that. There. And then those little flowers, I'm going to put this up a little bit because I do have a tiny little bow. I thought it kind of softened everything. And this is in the soft succulent in color bow. So pretty. I thought it went nice with the flowers. So I'm just going to glue these babies down. A little bit of adhesive. Again, it doesn't have to go everywhere. And I'm going to sneak it right underneath my layering here. And it's okay, it comes out of the frame. I like that it comes out of the frame here. And this one too. So if you have little baby scraps of any kind of flowers, this is a good way to use them up. Kind of fun there, just like that. And then this little guy is going to go down below. So it's a little different than the original because you just go with what you have, right? Let's go with the flow. There we go. Move that over there. And then this bow, I'm going to put on with the mini glue dot. This has been driving me crazy. The glue dots used to be on this side, and now they're on this side. So I used to always take my bow and I would press it into the glue dot and then put it in place. Well, since it's not in the right place for me, one of them I rewound the whole thing. But what I do is I just pick up my glue dot. I'm picking up 2 of them here. I'm going to pick up my glue dot, put it where I want my bow to be, laying it in place, and putting my little bow on there. Ta-da. Just like that. So, you know, if that's the way they're going to be, I'm going to find an alternate way to use it. Okay, let's glue this down. I already have enough bulk on the front, so I don't want to use dimensionals because I've already used them on the front of the card. Try to keep it within, I think they have to be a 1/4 inch thick for mailing, otherwise you have to have extra postage on it or hand it to somebody. Ta-da! Ah, there it is. So here's my original. See, it was a little bit different flowers. It's okay. Had the same little cute bow. And there's my bear. So what do you think? Is that so fun? Hi, Marie. Fun card. Fun card, little bit of fussy cutting, but it didn't take, whoopsie daisy. Didn't take too long. That was a good thing. So there we go. We used watercolor pencils. One thing I did not get to, and I apologize, is using these basic border dies. So I'll try to get that done along with the diorama dies for Friday. Tomorrow I will be opening up a monkey cut kit. I'm not sure which one I'm going to be working with, but we'll check into that. So hope you enjoyed our little presentation here, doing some watercoloring, using the pastels, using the Count on Me set. I think it is totally sweet. Also on the blog on stampingjourney.com, excuse me, I'm going to cough. I did put on this morning the preview for the next paper pumpkin, which looks really cute. So you can go to stampingjourney.com and take a look at that. There is a personalized link on there. If you decide you want to start receiving paper pumpkin, you can click on that link and get signed up so you don't ever miss a month of their cute little kits that are coming out. So let me turn this around here. Hello, Vera. There we go. Yeah, I think I love trying to, there we go. I love that stamp set. I think it's really cute. I love the little bear. And the next one I was trying to do was using the penguin and the kangaroo together. So the verses in that set are really cute. It's so fun. Yeah, the diorama dies I think are going to be fun. Who doesn't remember doing a shoebox diorama? Everybody had to do that. I remember collecting shoeboxes for the boys when they had to do that for school projects. So kind of fun. But this is a different way to use it. So you're not just stuck in the circle or square or rectangle. Use them for other things too. I think it gave it a whole different look to have that odd shaped thing around and then to tuck in our little flowers. So hope you liked it. If you did, share the video. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. Cindy likes those. So y'all take care. We will see you tomorrow for winging it on Wednesday. So tomorrow I won't know what I'm doing. So, you know, I'll just be winging it on Wednesday. So hopefully it turns out okay. I will see you then. Have a great night. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.